Welcome back to the Untouchaballs podcast. Caden and Evan here with another MLB episode. Today we're going to be talking about the Jack Flaherty move, Pat Hoberg getting fired or suspended, and possibly Nolan Arenado going to the Red Sox. We'll start off with the Jack Flaherty move. He's going back to the Tigers on a 2-year, $35 million deal with an opt-out after this year. What are your thoughts on this one, Dwyer?
I really like it for the deal, man. I mean, for the Tigers especially, like you look at their rotation now, I think this really helps them out, bolsters their rotation in the American League. I mean, for as good as Flaherty is, I get the risks that come along with it, but I mean, you can't deny he did it for the entire year last year, and obviously helped the Dodgers win the World Series. So honestly, I was shocked how little money it took to get Flaherty. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you see, obviously before that, his only good year was 2019. And since then, it had been injury-riddled seasons and just kind of subpar performance. And then last year, we see him at the start of the year with the Tigers, absolutely shoving. He was one of those bigger names to get moved at the deadline last year to the Dodgers. Got his ring, helped the Dodgers win that World Series. I was back with the Tigers. So, I mean, the Tigers, when they traded him, I don't think they really thought they were going to go on this kind of magical postseason run. So you trade him, you get these prospects back for him. Now you're able to re-sign him for 2 years, 35 a year. I mean, he's getting between his bonus and salary, he's only getting paid 25 million this year. And if he decides to, if he has another good year, obviously he'll probably opt out of that and try to get that actual bag because he's only 28 years old, like you were saying before we started. It's surprising how young Flaherty is because it seems like we've been seeing him in the league for a while now. I mean, his good season was 6 years ago now, back in 2019.
Man.
And so for him to, it's only a 2-year, $35 million deal. It's a great move by the Tigers to get him back. You now can slot him back behind Scooble in that rotation, who's obviously coming off that Triple Crown Cy Young season. Tigers got a sneaky good rotation going into the season.
Oh yeah, so deep. I mean, you look at. I mean, obviously, yeah, those 1-2 now punch with Flaherty and Scooble, but like Reese Olson started really like. He could be a potential really big breakout. I mean, Job, obviously, like,
Jack
as soon as he's there, he's awesome.
He's going to be good, I think. He's
Oh, yeah.
like a triple digits fastball. I mean, we saw he had that limited postseason experience too, just coming out the pen.
Yeah.
And he looks like he should be able to handle himself.
Oh, yeah.
These upper with the big leagues. So now we're going to see him obviously full season in the starting rotation. And when we get to our awards draft here in a couple weeks here and there, look out for Joe because he'll definitely, I think, at least one of us will pick him for Rookie of the Year.
Whoa, that's big there. That's big. You know, hey, look at the rest of the rotation, too. I mean, Mize, but, like, don't forget, like, Alex Cobb was a sneaky good signing. I kind of like, he's like one of those veterans that could just put up a sneaky good year, you know, for the Tigers. I mean, they give him a lot of money. He was like, I think he got 15 million or something, so, like, not too far off what Flaherty got, you know? Which, like, you kind of, like, look at Flaherty's deal, like, this is kind of pretty much a 1-year deal, like you kind of said. Like he's anticipating to have a good year to opt out of this deal. Which these elbow records, I wonder what they're really looking like. Because man, I'm just shocked. Like it took this long to get Flaherty off the market. Like I thought there would have been a team like the Angels. Like I thought the Angels would have like given him like 80 mils for 4 years or something. You know, like I just thought
Kikuchi like 60 over 30.
Yeah, and like I guess Kikuchi's a high strikeout guy too, but like I think he's a little older, I believe, right? He's like 30. Yeah.
Kikuchi, he's a whatever pitcher. Flaherty, I think, is definitely a better pitcher than Kikuchi. And we saw that he got 3 for I think 63 from the Angels, and he's over here getting 35. And I mean, but what you were saying also with the Tigers rotation be deep, yeah. So obviously that Scooble Flaherty 1-2. Reese Olson, like you were saying, he had that really strong, it seemed like towards that second half of the season. We already touched on Jack Flaherty. Then also like Caden Montero, who knows exactly how they're going to use him in this rotation. We saw what happened last year, like after the Flaherty trade, he got called up and he became one of their back-end starters when they weren't doing like a Tyler Holton as an opener than just a full bullpen game. Montero looked good in these starts he was getting towards the latter half of the season. He might be able to be one of those back-end guys you throw him back there with like an Alex Cobb, Casey Mize, something like that. And now you have a really like good looking rotation, and especially when you look at this AL Central, while it might not be the best offensive division, there are very good just rotations and bullpens just all throughout the division, excluding your favorite team, the White Sox.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. I don't know if you saw Flaherty. What? Dude, no Schultz.
Schultz.
We'll trade him to the Red Sox in about 5 years for their top prospect. He's going to suck. Don't worry. But I don't know if you saw Flaherty post on Twitter. I think it was like a day or not even not that long ago, probably like within the last week of like he said like if I was on that Tigers team this year, we would have beat the Guardians in the playoffs this year. Which honestly, I think he might be onto something because they kind of like ran out of pitching. Like how they really went about the playoffs was very cool. I think
it was Scooble, bullpen game.
Bullpen. That's it. That's it. That was awesome, dude. It's interesting how they did that. And
it seemed like it came back to bite him though, especially in the Guardians series.
Yeah, but like you just had Scuba. Like now you add Flaherty and like now Olsen. If he breaks out, Jobs breaks out. Like then you don't have to do that, But like
exactly.
I mean, honestly, I'm happy for the Tigers, man. Like I think this was like the kind of move like they needed to make. Like obviously they're still on Bregman, and we'll see. Like I think it'll be interesting if they're able to pick him up. But like they're kind of that team. Like this is the year. Like they didn't have any expectations really this year. Like people are going to have expectations on the Tigers going into the year. So we'll see if they.
Speaking of expectations, where do you place them in the Central right now?
Oh, I think it's probably second. If I would probably have the Royals over them right now, but it's close. I think if they sign Bregman, I think it's close. I think if they sign Bregman, they might be favorites, maybe.
What about the Twins?
I love the Twins. I mean, they didn't do anything, man. They didn't do anything.
I think they're banking on people being healthy this year.
Mm-hmm. True. And they do have some prospects coming up. They have that Rodriguez kid. What's it? Is that Eduardo Rodriguez, I believe. They have another thing. No. There's definitely an outfielder who's coming up for them. I don't know.
Obviously, Correa last year, he only played about half the season. He was still almost a 4-WAR player in that half a season. Obviously, we know what Royce Lewis can do if he is ever able to stay on the field. He could be an MVP candidate year in, year out if he can just stop getting hurt and stay on the field. Like, they have some good bats. I assume someone like Pablo Lopez won't be as bad as he was last year.
Yeah.
It's just, right now, without knowing if Bregman is going to choose the Tigers, I don't know. I have them in that 2 or 3. I think the Royals are probably at the top of the division right now. But I think it's really close right there between the Twins and the Tigers right there for that 2-3 spot. Oh, yeah. And the Guardians.
Oh, the Guardians.
Oh.
But the Guardians are weird, though, too, because they really took a step back.
I think they got worse.
Yeah.
Like, you lose Josh Taylor, who's like your best bat in your lineup. Well, second to J-Ram.
Outside of Ram, yeah.
Outside of J-Ram, your second best bat. And, you didn't do – you tried to just add more pitching, which you already have pitching. You need
they got Bieber
lineup.
back.
Yeah.
Sneaky guy that they picked up that I love. Like, breakout candidate. Maybe not this year, but eventually. Slade Ciccone, dude. That
I did like. I like Slade Ciccone as well.
Like, he sucked for the Diamondbacks, but, like, I was talking to this with Stoner. Shout out Bradley Stoner. We were talking about it, like, bro, he might be the next Trevor Bauer, bro. Go play for the D-backs, suck, go to the Guardians, and then just become awesome. Like, honestly, dude, like, he was a pretty high prospect. I don't think he was, like, a top prospect in baseball or anything. This stuff's filthy, man. And, like, you pick up him. Yeah, like, I know the Rays want him, too. Like, now he's going to develop for the Guardian in that Guardians lab. Like, pretty good, man. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, Slade Ciccone, I agree with you. He's a great piece that they got back for Naylor in that trade.
Mm-hmm.
It's just your rotation and bullpen, I think, is going to be awesome once again.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how much they're going to be able to produce offensively besides Quan and J-Ram.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. They don't really have any top prospects. Like, I know they have that Jason Curio, but he's not anywhere near coming up close soon.
And Bazzana, I don't think he's probably still.
No, maybe at the end of the year if he's hot. But like, you're right. I love the Twins, but I'd probably honestly put them 4. Now that Flaherty's not in that team, I think I'd.
You say the Twins 4?
Yeah, and honestly, I still have the Royals on top. I feel like the Royals gotten better this offseason, and I think like they're gonna only get better next year. But those two between the Guardians and did they get worse enough for the Tigers to overtop them? Like,
See, that's what's tough. It's really tough. I think
yeah,
now that I remember the Guardians are there, I think it's probably the Royals and Guardians at top.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then it's the Tigers, Twins fighting for that. But I mean, if the Tigers do, let's say, sign Alex Bregman, I think that could boost them up in the division. I don't know if I'll really be picking them to win the division per se, but I think it'll definitely help them more because I mean, we just talked about the rotation. I mean, Kerry Carpenter's a stud. Riley
Yeah.
Green's a stud. I like what I
Yeah.
saw from Colt Keith, especially in the back half of the season.
Yeah.
You have Jace Young. I mean,
He's young.
I mean, even someone like Trey Sweeney at short didn't look that bad in his
Awful,
league.
no,
Yeah, like he seems like he could at least be capable. And I mean, yeah, you add Bregman to that lineup, it could help a lot. I think.
For sure. And like the age too, that's a veteran hit. Like a veteran, you need veterans in your lineup to like kind of help those younger guys out, you know? Like I feel like Bregman, like since like everybody, like Bregman of the Tigers has been like one, like they've been one of the teams been constantly in it. Like I feel like the longer it goes, the less likely he goes there at this point. But like, God, it sounds so good on paper. You know what I mean?
Oh, it sounds great on paper. Get him back with AJ Hinch. And I mean, it's seeming, even though, it was reported last week that the Astros were still in on Bregman and that they'd offered him like a 6-year, 150 deal, which I don't know why he wouldn't accept. But
Yeah. Yeah.
then they were having their like press conference yesterday as we're recording this, and their GM kept talking about Bregman in the past tense. So now it might seem like they've moved on from him and realized he doesn't really want to come back to Houston.
Yeah. I know. Even if they did sign him, I feel like that'd be so like clogged there with Paredes and like when you got like where are you gonna play him, you know? But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be definitely weird for him to go back to Houston, especially after you trade away your best player. Well, yeah, but your best player on the team,
Sure.
and then trade for a new third baseman in that.
Yeah. Pick up Walker.
Now,
Sorry.
pick up Walker, which I mean, no, that's a good signing. Which is what makes the Kyle Tucker trade that much more confusing.
Yeah. I mean, touch on it very briefly. It feels really weird that the Astros do it because like they just signed the aging veteran in Jose Abreu, and like got burned so hard from that. And like I get he's a different guy, but like still, I would just have like that buyer's like. He's an older first baseman. Like I feel like he's gonna last better than Abreu, but like I don't know.
Abreu might have been 47 when he signed with the
Astros.
Astros.
That's true. But
I mean, Walker, it doesn't look like he's really slowing down.
no, 100%.
Gold glove defense give you 30, 35 home runs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the Crawford boxes. I think it'd be nice. I find it funny they just do that again.
That is, especially after just cutting Abreu mid-season last year because how bad it was.
I'm sure they're probably still paying him for the next like 5-10 years, $1 million a year, all that crap again.
That's deferred money.
White Sox legend Jose Abreu.
Hey, MVP.
MVP.
Yeah.
COVID MVP. Mickey Mouse MVP.
Still counts.
That's right.
People will look at his baseball reference in 20 years and be like, oh, he won MVP. How do you do that in only 60 games?
just a beast.
Just a beast, man.
Yeah.
And the next thing we did want to talk on, though, is coming out yesterday, Pat Hoberg, one of the, if not the best umpires in the MLB. He didn't ump at all last year, and now it's come out that he's been, they say fired, but in reality he's been suspended for the 2025 season for gambling, an investigation where it's weird because he was talking with a friend, like he shared his legal sports gambling accounts with a friend who bet on baseball games and intentionally deleted electronic messages pertinent to the federal investigation. But in the investigation, it came out that he didn't bet at all, and then nothing was found that he was sharing any tips or throwing games or anything like to that sort. You were sharing an account with them, so now you were out of all last year, now you're out this year too.
Yeah, it's hard to like argue. Like he's kind of in the right. Like he's like, bro, I was one of the best rated umpires in the league. Like, was it the best
game in the World Series?
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, do you think I'm throwing that, bro? You know, like I don't know. Like, that's why I think he'll be back. I think like you said, it'll kind of be like one of those things like he's sweeping under the rug, like oh let's blah blah blah, like you know, it'll just everyone forget about it. But like I don't know. I mean like if you get caught when it comes to gambling, like I'm all for like I think it's kind of stupid like some of the, like the rules about like oh you can't gamble, but like if you're official betting on your sport, then you're like okay,
that's where it gets like,
there. You
bet
know,
on football, bet on basketball, bet on UFC, anything
join your
like
fantasy
that.
football league. Go
Yeah.
go win a fantasy championship with Jamar Chase. Go ahead, but yeah, stay away from baseball. What's his
Go
first name?
fantasy championship with Jamar Chase.
Yeah, yeah. Don't get me started.
Yeah, but I mean, Manfred came out yesterday. He had a press conference, and he says the strict enforcement of Major League Baseball's rules governing sports betting conduct is a critical component of upholding our most important priority, protecting the integrity of our games for the fans. An extensive investigation revealed no evidence that Mr. Hoberg placed bets on baseball directly or that he or anyone else manipulated games in any way. However, his extremely poor judgment in sharing betting accounts with a professional poker player he had reason to believe bet on baseball and who did, in fact, bet on baseball from the shared accounts, combined with his deletion of messages, creates at minimum the appearance of impropriety that warrants imposing the most severe discipline.
Yeah. Mr. Manfred. Well, what else?
It just seems like a bunch of smoke and mirrors in the.
Yeah, you know how they get in the sports world, man. They don't mess around when it comes to gambling. They're trying to make a, when it comes to like NBA tampering and all that, they'll be like, oh, second round pick. You're gambling, you're cooked, dude. You know, they're not gonna. There's no light penalty.
You're banned for life.
Yeah, dude. You can't even say gambling. If Pat got caught saying gambling, he's cooked. He's out for the year.
That Pirates player last year who got banned for life.
Oh yeah.
Some rando mercy like Topeka.
Oh, dude, 100. Yeah, it's like, dude, the whole Porter was it?
My boy, Scary Terry Rozier.
That happened to him too. He's playing though.
Just came out, yeah.
It just came out
like a couple days ago that they're investigating him for 2023 in Charlotte for like unusual wagering. And
geez.
just
23.
Yeah, and just yesterday it came out that 3 Division One NCAA basketball schools are being investigated for like throwing games, not like throwing games because there was a like improper wager. Like obviously, you remember the one from last year around tournament time where UAB was a 1.5 point first half spread favorite. Then 3 hours later they were 9.5.
Yeah,
some of those games have been happening to start this year. And now that's all getting looked into too. Oh, if there's any irregularities, people are going to be looking at it.
Dude, yeah. They want their money. If you're gonna win it, you gotta win it fair. I still find the dude from the Raptors so funny when he's like betting on his own props.
Brother.
Yeah, dude. He's like, oh yeah, 1.5 points is over under. Let's put 100K on this. Like, yeah, like I'm just gonna put 100K on some role player for the Raptors. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, of course you're gonna get caught.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Probably use the same Gmail.
So yeah, lesson learned. Don't bet on your own sport. Other sports are okay, not your own.
Yeah. Be careful, kids.
Be careful, kids. Yeah, and the last thing we do want to harp on here on this episode is reports have come out today that the Red Sox and Cardinals are in possible discussions about Nolan Arenado going over to play for the Red Sox, be their, I guess, third baseman.
Yeah.
I obviously he'd play third. I mean, first I want to hear your thoughts about how you think the fit would be, but then also like, what do you do with like Devers and Casas? Like, do you just slide Devers to a full-time DH at that point?
So I know some delusional Cardinals fans are like, "Oh, let's get a deal done where we're bringing back Casas." That's not happening. He's not going to get touched.
At all.
Yeah, not going to get touched. I do like Nato on the Red Sox. I think that like people are really hating on him, and he did have a down year. But man, you're going to Fenway, like, God, I just feel like that's like a bounce back candidate just ready to happen. You know,
yeah, the Green Monster will help with his home run production a lot. He's still obviously top 3 at worst defender at the position.
Oh, dude, his defense is still there. Like. I mean, like, I think the thing was, like, you obviously have him at third, and you're gonna have Devers and Casas just swap off between first and DH, and like, I mean, the AL East that's a big beast, but like, I think, man, that would be really nice, with Campbell coming up, like, just bring another veteran presence in that lineup, and Roman Anthony, yeah,
like I know we harped on that like a little bit. I think that was last week. We like the Red Sox this year.
Yeah.
And you get Arenado over there, who, yes, he had the down year, but I mean, he still has 3 years left on his contract. He's not a free agent until 2028. You're not paying him much. 21 mil this year, 16 next year, 15 and 27. So you're barely paying him anything to be one of the premier defenders, and you get him at a more hitter-friendly ballpark than Busch Stadium. You get him to Fenway, have the Green Monster at his advantage. He could get back up to that 25, 30 bombs playing Gold Glove defense. And yeah, now you don't have to deal with Devers at third, who obviously he's an amazing bat, not particularly good at all with the glove. Now you can, just slide it. Yeah, like you're saying, alternate him and Casas between first and DH. That's great because both those bats you really want in your lineup, and you want to make sure they can stay healthy. So now you can limit their time on the field, and that's great for them. And just for the Sox, then like you're saying, you bring up Christian Campbell to play second or short, depending on what they do with Story. You have Roman Anthony going out to the outfield. I mean, Jarren Duran's a stud. And, I mean, the Red Sox could be really nice, and adding Arenado, I think, just makes them even better.
Yeah. Oh, man, yeah. Like, I'm looking at his stats right now. Like, I think people hate on him just because it's like, oh, it's Nolan Arenado. You just remember, like, the 41, 42 home run seasons and all that. But, like, if you get 16 bombs, 71 RBIs, and a 272 batting average out of your first baseman and play elite defense, like, that's a pretty good third baseman. You know what I mean? Like, I think people get caught up in, like, the name value of Nolan Arenado, Like, oh, it's Nolan Arenado. He's falling off hard. But it's like, dude, like,
he's still an above average OPS plus. He's still an above average hitter, even in the worst year of his career offensively.
And, like, he's 34, but, like, it's old, but not real. I mean, like, Paul Goldschmidt, his teammate, he won an MVP at, 34, 35? Like,
he's falling off hard.
Well, now he did, but, like, he's now, like, 37 now. But, like, he won an MVP at, you know what I mean? So, like, was that a COVID MVP? No, that was 2021.
That was 2022.
So, like,
Nato finished third that year.
Yeah, like, I would if I'm a gambling man, not like my boy Pat, I would like,
Hey, we don't work for the MLB. We're allowed to gamble.
Yeah, right. Hey, I'm gambling on big bet man on Nolan Arenado this year, and if he goes to the Red Sox, that is. And there is another rumor I saw on Twitter. This is just from the fans, and I want to get your thoughts on it. I heard obviously the Padres trying to cut back payroll, and they're talking about shipping off. I don't know if you saw shipping off Bogarts with one of their top prospects to try and get rid of like that salary they owe him.
Oh yeah.
And like obviously they said like Bogarts could be a potential, like giving Bogarts and like Ethan Salas to like the Red Sox, and like just so they can eat that money for probably pennies on the dollar. I mean, like how.
Speaking of that though, I think Ethan Salas is a very overrated prospect.
Yeah, hey, the age is just the age. Everyone's
it's just it's like the new rankings came out like a week ago. He's still in the top 30 when he just hasn't performed at all in the minors.
Yeah.
Like I get it, he's young, but just because he's young doesn't mean he should be having this high a pedigree when he's just not performed at all.
Yeah, I remember he's like, oh, he's a 16-year-old catching spring training games and all that, and like. Granted, I still think he should be a high prospect, but I agree. Like, if you're in the top 30, you should be performing, like, beyond everybody else. You know what I mean? You should be young and good. Like, not even that one kid that they have the Padres, that Deveris, that top international. Like, I mean, like, he had like a 230 average or something like that, but he had over an 800 OPS as like a 17-year-old in like high A or something.
He is good.
Yeah.
He's going to be really nice.
Yeah, so like that guy, I think he's in the top 20, I believe. Like, I feel like he's worth that. You know what I mean? I
agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah, I don't know Salas's what his rank is or like his stats off the top of my head like that. But I agree. I think age is overrated if like at that point, you know. But like
Yeah, I mean,
at the same time, like I would still want him if he's like if you're gonna give me him and Bogarts, I wouldn't mind that for the Red Sox. But if I were the Red Sox, I would just stay away. Just like let the kids come play.
and you don't really want Bogarts back.
I mean, he should be good there, but I just don't think.
Obviously, it's a big if, but from what we've seen in Fenway of a healthy Trevor Story, he's better offensively than what we've seen out of Bogarts these last couple years.
You're right. I completely forgot Trevor Story's gonna be back this year.
This was Ethan Salas's stats last year. So he had 412 at bats, a 206 average, 4 bombs, 10 bags, a 599 OPS, sub 600 OPS.
At what level?
And you're ranking him a top 30 prospect. High A.
Oof.
In high A.
Was he 17, 18?
He is 18.
Yeah.
So then obviously he has the potential stuff. I think he's just ranked way too high.
Yeah. I mean, like, the prospect rankings, I mean, it's all just, it's all luck. No one really knows. But yeah, like, if I'm gambling on it, like, I wouldn't gamble on that guy right now. You know what I mean?
There's a couple, like, even just catchers ranked lower than him that I think will be better.
Catchers alone?
Yeah. Like Kyle Teal. Or Edgar Cuero, another White Sox.
Cooper Engel is my watch out guy for the year. Clemson legend for the Guardians. I think he's going to take Bo Naylor's spot in
you think?
Maybe by the end of the year. We're talking crazy. He hasn't seen AAA yet, but
okay. So yeah, we're talking a little crazy.
He's gonna explode. He's gonna explode. Watch.
And you have no faith in Bo Naylor.
I hate Bo Naylor.
I sound like Stoner.
Yeah.
He hates that family.
Yeah. Speaking of the Bogarts, and like, do you ever see? And this is just Red Sox hypothetical, but like, you see Tatis ever getting traded?
I mean, I don't know if I could. He is signed for a while, so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very. I think it's definitely possible, especially depending on, like, what we see happening with this new ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, with Seidler passed, all he cared about was the team. He wanted to bring a championship to San Diego. Now as the family's fighting for control, it seems like they're more worried about just the dollar amount than actually the team.
Yeah.
So yes, I could definitely see at some point, depending on what happens with this ownership and how they start treating the team, to see Tatis, maybe Manny as well, get shipped out of there.
Manny's not going anywhere. I don't know if you've seen how much he's got the worst contract in baseball left. He's got like 10 years left on his deal and over $250 million, and he's 32. It's brutal. Like you can't even move that contract. Like Tatis, you can move.
No. I think you can move Manny a lot easier than you can Bogarts.
I'll give you that. Oh, I think it's close. I think both of them, you aren't getting anything for them.
I don't know. Manny is still a good baseball player.
True. Damn. Bogarts hate is crazy. He is bad, though. I will give you that. He is very bad.
Manny is still one of these better third basemen in the league.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for now. But, is he going to be 8 years from now, 9 years?
No, more likely than not, no. So you want to trade for him. Like, a team that wants to trade for Manny would be a win-now team that can get him still playing well for the next, 3 to 5 years. And then you're just really eat.
I know, they're talking about trading Cease and all that, which I think he could be gone just because they're not going to be able to pay him. And I think, what do you think, like a Mets or something there?
I've been seeing Mets and I've been seeing Braves in talks for the Padres with Cease.
Yeah, you can get something for Cease. I think because he's sort of control and stuff. But moving those hitters, I think that's going to be the big question for them. But you're right, they don't got money. They're you're seeing the effects of what happens when you go for it, giving all that money away, and you don't get it. You're like, well, now we gotta they're in that stage.
Well, I feel like if Senior Seidler didn't pass, we wouldn't be having any of these discussions right now.
Yeah,
I think they would have went out this offseason and tried to make their team better based on what they saw fail in the postseason, instead of the whole team just going into turmoil.
I mean, yeah, they've honestly had one of the worst off seasons of any teams. I mean, like they literally just went all in on Roki Sasaki and like failed, and it's like, oh, that sucks because like, I mean, you have pieces, but like they got worse. They lost pieces of that bullpen, like, and obviously you trade Cease away, that's gonna hurt, and like going into the year, they don't have a very good rotation.
Profar back.
He lost wasn't he an all-star starter? Like,
no, he was great last year, and I mean, I like their rotation as it sits now. It'll depend on what happens. Because I mean, I like Michael King, I like Cease. We'll see how Joe Musgrove comes back from his injury.
He's out. He's out for the year though. So like,
it's not the year.
TJ, he had TJ in the playoffs last year.
He did have TJ in the playoffs. Why not think it was?
They got like Darvish still, who's got he's like what 39. He's no, he's good. But like, can you still expect to get over 160, 170 innings out of Darvish at this point in his career?
No. Probably more in the 140, 150 range.
Hopefully, for his age, I mean, hopefully, I mean, he missed a lot of time last year. I think they're a team that's going to take a step back hard this year.
I agree with you 100% on that.
But that's why I asked the Tatis, like, could you see that in the future? Like, if there's a next big star to get traded, like, I could see that happening. And, like, we were talking about the Red Sox, like, they have the prospects aligned to go out and get Tatis, and he would make a lot of sense in that outfield,
Yes, but also, I mean, yeah, I think it's always better to trade for a proven guy than try to hold on to prospects, because you never know if they'll even pan out or whatnot. I mean, we saw like Kybert Ruiz and Mackenzie Gore in the Soto trade. The Nationals, they were so highly touted. I mean, I think Mackenzie Gore might not be bad. I think he can maybe turn into something. Kybert Ruiz has been awful.
Brutal.
And I mean, so I think, yes, you could.
They had Josiah Gray too in that deal, right? He's been very mad.
I like Josiah. I mean, yeah, he's a serviceable guy. And I mean, I think, yeah, if you could, let's say Tatis magically is on the market, I think every team in the league should be trying to go after him.
Yeah, I mean, he's in that pedigree, of like a freak, like you could probably go like Soto, or like I think Vlad would be the next one to go big if he were to get traded. But I think Tatis isn't that much farther behind him in the list. But like Nationals would be interesting though, because like I know we said dude, you know what I'm saying?
I know, I'm with you.
Yeah, like we're just saying how bad that trade was they made when it was Turner and Scherzer, but bro, like Soto, holy crap, they got a haul back for him, dude. I mean,
that was Mackenzie Gore and
no,
Mackenzie Gore was a part of the Padres. Josiah Gray was the Dodgers.
Dodgers and Ruiz were.
Yeah,
right. They got like Abrams. They got
Abrams. I like Abrams, but
Abrams is nice, dude. He's one. I mean, he cooled off hard last year, but he's still super young.
And I mean, imagine this outfield: you have Dylan Cruz in center, James Wood in left, Tatis in right. That's disgusting. I
could definitely see them like bold take, like going after it in the wild card or something. I'm just pulling up the trade right now because I know they have bigger pieces in that deal.
Well, which one, Soto or Scherzer?
Oh, this is.
I know Robert Hassel was, I think, in the Soto deal. I think he's still just floating around in the minors, though. He seems to be highly touted.
Your boy Ethan Salas. Salas is going to be in the ratings for like 10 years.
3 years.
Oh, you're right. Hassel was. Yeah, I have no clue. I never heard about him in forever, man.
Yeah, because at the time, he was a very highly touted prospect, and it seems like we haven't really heard from him since that trade.
You're right. Like, this deal kind of... Wait, they got James Wood out of the deal.
Oh, you're right. James Wood was in that deal.
So that was pretty nice. Then you get James Wood, C.J. Abrams. That's a good... That's it. That saves this deal. That saves the deal a little bit.
And, I mean, the Padres only got half a season out of...
Dude, they could have had James Wood.
No, a season and a half. A season and a half out of it.
Oh, man. I mean, I get the Padres going after, bro. They could have had James Wood right now. Oh. How about the Padres system?
I like James Wood.
Yeah. He struck out a lot last year, and, like, it was weird. You see that, like, he never, like, pulled the baseball at all, which is weird.
And he was still having one of the highest exit velos in the league.
Yeah, like watch out.
I assume he'll start pulling the ball more this year.
Yeah.
Dude, those balls are gonna fly over that right field fence. Those things are gonna fly.
Yeah. We're big Nationals guys. What can we say?
Big Nationals, big Red Sox. I mean,
big Tigers. We like them all.
I love the Tigers. Maybe some athletics this year in Sacramento.
Ooh, don't get me started. I could ramble about the A's.
That's for another episode when we talk about some of these more kind of sleeper teams that we could see really improving this season.
I agree.
But for now, thank you guys all for listening to this episode of the Untouchaballs podcast. Like this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. Share this video with your friends, family, strangers, neighbors, anything like that, and check out our website at theuntouchaballs.wordpress.com. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you all next time.
Peace.